Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed your workshop that you've done with me recently. This is the video that is obviously on the website that you can refer back to at any time to try and make sure you're getting everything right and just have as a bit of a reference guide. So I'm just going to do my face as quickly as I can so that you're not sitting around watching for too long. So first of all, we had a little bit of foundation over the eyes, which I'm just going to smack right on, nice and easy. Foundation or concealer, either one, just to take out any of the blue or red undertones that you may have over the eyes. And powder. Just to make sure it sets so that you don't have any creasing of your eyeshadow once that goes on. All right. Eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to go really neutral and go with the browns for you. So let's have a look-see. Starting from underneath, coming out from my lowest point of the eye down the centre, straight out to the side in a nice straight line. And then sort of leave that ready to meet that up for the for the top. And remember, anything that goes out of that spot can just be fixed up with foundation later on, so don't stress. Right, then for the top, same thing. So from the centre, which is there, just bring it straight out. Obviously, as your eye comes down, you want to increase the thickness of this so that it stays in that nice straight line. Pulling that out. Then meet the top to the bottom. So if you're coming out this way, just angle it around so that it meets. And we want to make sure that everything is staying within that section out to the corner of the brow. So lift that right up towards the brow end, and then we'll come back around to get the eyeshadow to meet that when we get there in a second. Don't stress too much about blending or anywhere that it's not meant to be. We can fix that all up later. And then for our crease, so I'm going to use a slightly lighter shade of shadow just so it's not as intense. And again, from the centre, coming straight out to the side, and anything that's hanging down that you don't want to be, just colour it in nice and dark, because remember, darkness is what pulls back and the light is what brings forward. So if you've got any hooded eyes that are hanging over that you don't like, just a little bit of dark eyeshadow and that will get rid of them. So again, coming out to meet this bit out to the side. So we generally want to extend by about 1/3 of our eye. So just a little bit round about there. I do apologise that I'm not looking directly in the camera. I'm trying to figure myself out in the mirror that's just above you. Straight from the centre, straight out to the side, and coming around to meet anything that you don't want. And just making the eye look larger by giving that extra depth out to the side and up. Right, and bigger eyes already in 2 minutes. So, just going to keep sort of blending that around. Remember, you can always add more eyeshadow, it's harder to take it off, so just very light-handed, don't get too much on your brush at once. This is just my crease brush. You can see it's got nice long bristles and quite a fine kind of hold to the end. Right, and then I'm just going to go back in with a lighter sort of colour for over the lids. And I'm wearing a bit of pink today, so maybe we'll get a little bit of that going on. What do you reckon? Yeah. This one's just got a nice little shimmer to it, but as we've spoken about, if you're getting fine lines a lot around your eyes and they're not quite as taunt as they used to be, feel free to stick to your mattes. That'll be a much better friend to you. just bring that to wherever you've sort of brought the rest, and stop just before. Grab your blending brush, get anything else off of it that you've already used, and just blend around. So little circles up and down. Always try and make sure you're going back to that general, pulling up this way to the outer corner. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back and grab a light color. This one's just like a nice little cream, and just pop in the inner corners and then blend that around. That's our highlight color, so use that. You don't have to use the same one for the underbrows, but this one's a nice matte cream and it just kind of works well for here as well. So from the bit where your arch starts going down. Anything else is going to make you look a little bit Neanderthal-like with a big pronounced kind of brow there. I'm actually just going to go back and pull up a little bit more for the crease from the outer end, just so you can really see the intensity of that and get the difference. Obviously for a day look we want to make sure it's nice and soft and subtle, and for evening we can intensify that as much as you like, and either ending in this point kind of type thing we've got going on here, or like a nice rounded edge, or anywhere in between really. Play around with it, it's all up to you. There are no rules, these are my guidelines, but when it comes to makeup there are no rules, so play around, see what works best for you and what you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day that's all that matters. And make sure you're lifting from this outer, underneath as well. Feel like blending that out, so be it. Okay. If you wanted to go back in with eyeliner, I'd recommend only doing it on the outer half, or like wherever your highest point is and outward. And I better show you that really while I'm here. So, where is my eyeliner gone? I grabbed it before. This is actually my brow pencil that I use, but it's just a nice dark brown. So make sure you're getting right up and close to the lash line, because we're just giving the appearance of thicker, fuller lashes. It often helps to pull that out so that you can get a nice straight line. It's easier to work with and you can get much closer to the lashes that way. Okay, I'm going to pop on my mascara, which is just so mascara, remember, if you can, obviously habits are hard to break, but if you can just keep it to the top lashes, then that's fabulous. So underneath, make sure you get the top of your lashes as well, and lifting up. Get a little zigzaggy motion going on from the roots so that they're nice and separated. And just make sure you're pulling right up to the ends. Should be able to feel them flick off. One. Wiggle, wiggle. Other side as well. You'll notice the difference once you start doing the top of the lashes as well. You get so much more product on, your lashes just look so much longer for it. Makes a big difference. Also, whether or not I mentioned it in your workshop, I'm sorry, never like push your product in and out, in and out, in and out. Because what that's doing is adding more oxygen to your mascara, which is going to make it like last not as long. So avoid that at all costs. Same with your nail polishes, by the way. If you shake nail polish, it's actually, you'll be able to see it if you do it with a clear one. It actually creates air bubbles through the product, which makes it dry out much faster. So never shake, always roll. Okay. Mascara, done. Right. primer all over the face. Just pop it on like a moisturizer, and try to make sure that you're keeping those vellus hairs, the little baby hairs all over your face, in a downward motion. So once you pop it on, sweep these out. These ones come out this way and then down the rest of the face. Make sure you get under the eyes. Remember how important primer is. It's wonderful stuff. If you don't have one, go get one. Where to put my foundation? Here we go. Alrighty. Just mixing a little bit of an illuminizer into this as well, because I'm feeling fancy. Mix that all in. Same thing again, make sure you're brushing down. Just kind of spread it around, make sure it's all going to get where it needs to go. Alright, so majority of the product in the center of the face and blend out towards the edges. Do the under eye as well, but we will come back with concealer as well. Create that nice straight line and then pull it up. And again, underneath, straight line and up. And I like to go back in with my beauty blender. It depends on your foundation brush and the foundation, so many other factors, as to how well it will spread with just a brush. So I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender in a minute. But if you can get the area done and just kind of cover what you need to cover, move it all around, and then the excess will come off and the brush strokes will go away with your beauty blender. Sorry. And just pat and press. Very therapeutic, a lot of my clients say when I'm coming on and doing this. I am, of course, gentler with other people than I am with myself. Okay, concealer, brush. So a nice sheer coverage, and really blend it out, because this is the area where you will get the creasing if there is too much product. And remember, when you do, just 2 fingers, warm them together between your hands, and pat. Don't ever smear, because it's just going to take off all the product. And just stick to the orbital bone area. And again, if you want to accentuate this little bit out to the side, straight out, follow that line that you've created before. Make sure it's even to the other side as well before you go too far ahead. And if there's any other spots that you need to conceal, go over after you've done your foundation. Foundation will cover majority of things, and anything that you'd need to cover after that is with your concealer. And blend. This will take off any excess so it's not creasing. Okay. Remember to see if you can let that sit for a little while, so that if you need powdering afterwards, you can do it then, as opposed to putting powder on and actually not needing it and getting that mattified look that you just don't really want. Okay, a little bit of blush, nice and light. I can always add more. Just got this one that I'm using just to pull up with the pink tones. Remember to stay within this section. Don't pull it this close, at least 1 finger's width away from your nose, but between the mouth and the nose, up to the top of the eye and the ear. One. The fluffier the brush, the more blended it will be as well. So try not to get too dense of a brush, And if you're going to invest in anything when it comes to makeup, brushes are the one. Brushes and foundation, I would say. Everything else you can be a little less choosy, but brushes, if you get good ones and invest in them, they will last a very long time. And take care of them and clean them, very important. Eyebrows, let's get my brow pencil. It's got the brow groomer spoolie on the other end, so give them a little bit of a brush, get them into where they need to be, and I do apologise because I need to do mine desperately. Fill in any sections first where you have any holes, and then you can go back. So try and map out the brows as well, make sure you're getting that spot. So corner of the nose through the centre of the, corner of the eye, that's your start point. Nose through centre of the pupil is the highest point, and nose through corner of your eye is your finish point. So try and accentuate those. So my peak over here on this eyebrow is a little bit lost. My left is my favourite. You will have a favourite. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They will never be the same. No part of you at all is symmetrical, so just roll with it. But with makeup, you can change that. Any holes, create this nice lift here. And off to the finish line. Remember to use small brush brow pencil strokes so that you're not getting that full block of colour, because no one's eyebrows look like that. Alrighty, groom them back into place, and brushing them through will take off any excess product and just make sure it's spread evenly through the brow hair as well. I'm sorry, I'm very pedantic when it comes to my eyebrows. I'm sure you would have noticed. Seems like my right one's more of my friend today. That happens too. Okay, I'm just going to fill in a little hole here, and then I think they will be okay. Right, good. If you can always, in my actual bathroom light, which I'm not right now, the light comes in from the side, so always try and sort of hold up your hand, block the light, and make sure it is coming in evenly. Otherwise the shading on one side of your face will definitely change the way that everything looks. So always try and get yourself, if you can, looking straight towards the light, but otherwise just move around so that you can check everything through. As we spoke about, lip liner for me is an essential, and my lips are quite dry today, so I'm just going to use a gloss and put that straight on. If you can, never try to rub your lips together like all the way over, because the center of this one obviously will create the same shape on the top, and you really want to accentuate your Cupid's bow. So, all right, all done. And then I finish with a setting spray, which I absolutely love. And I'm generally not one to powder my face, so I'm going to avoid that. But if by this point you find that you're getting a little bit oily looking, like around here, or that the foundation just hasn't quite set into your face yet, then just pop a little bit of a translucent-ish powder over the top, not a mineral powder like a foundation one, because that of course will create more coverage, which you probably don't need. So if you have any other questions after this, please always let me know. And now that I'm looking, I'm like, gonna go fix that in a minute. It's just annoying me. Let's just woo. So yes, if you have any questions, please, my email and phone is always open to you. And feel free to watch this as many times as you need to, play and pause and follow along if you need to. I think that kind of covers it. If there's anything I've missed, please let me know and I'll fix it for the next group that comes along. Thanks so much, ladies. Bye.